welcome to December 2024 edition of Macro and Market Wrap-Up. November saw few key elections, US in the global space, Maharashtra and Jharkhand state elections in India, Maharashtra being the prime one. In the weeks leading to election day, polls signaled a Trump victory in the US and Mahayuti in Maharashtra, but the clear sweep was unexpected. The Republican majority in both the House and Senate has shifted market expectations. US equities has surged and tech stocks rallied, reflecting optimism for improved economic conditions under the new administration. FII sold out of Indian equities. Industrial metals have also seen some gain. Market now expect the terminal Fed fund rates in this rate-cutting cycle to be around 3.75% versus 3% expected 2 months ago. 10-year US Treasury has traced back to 420 levels. DXY has seen 7 to 8% appreciation. Gold dropped nearly 3% last month and Bitcoin surged, as Trump has spoken more favorably for the latter. In India, the BJP-led alliance's victory in Maharashtra boosted market confidence in political stability. However, it also highlighted the growing role of welfare schemes in gaining political favor. Freebies are likely to remain central, with key upcoming state elections in Delhi, Bihar, and UP in the next 12 to 18 months. Trump administration has several key agendas, such as corporate tax cuts, lower corporate regulation, stricter immigration policies, and higher tariffs. The initial reaction to macro impact of such policies seems to have been factored in the asset classes. Most of these policies would logically lead to higher inflation and better corporate profits, which could feed into better economic activity. Tariffs too, in past, has worked to weaken the currencies on which they are imposed. While Trump has expressed a preference for a weaker dollar and could leverage tariffs and social media as he did in his first term to influence currency values, we believe that broader economic fundamentals should ultimately dominate. From here on, the timeline and practical execution will be of paramount importance. There is also an ongoing debate as to whether the tariffs will be an end to itself or whether it will be used as a tool, like sanctions, to drive concessions out of the other nations. Apart from politics, last month's economic data out of the US and China has also come above market expectations, while Europe continues to disappoint. We recommend staying invested in gold as a hedge asset, as we believe that the reflationary thesis is on the rise again. Back in 2016 too, when Trump was elected for the first time, dollar had strengthened in the first 2 months after election, just like now. But dollar strength could not last in 2017, as there was a broader global growth recovery and delay in policy implementation during Trump's first term. However, this time around, global growth is weaker and there is a greater preparedness to implement the election promises. Hence, dollar could stay supported. Rupee's volatility has been significantly stemmed as a conscious policy choice, and rupee's depreciation is significantly less than the emerging market peers. We estimate rupee to depreciate to 85 against US dollar by mid-2025. An even stronger headline was grabbed by the significant disappointment in India's Q2 GDP data. Q2 FY25 GDP fell to 5.4% year-on-year versus 6.7% in Q1 and 8.3% in FY24. Overall, GDP growth was significantly below expectation. We do think that this 5.4% is an aberration, and growth prints should be relatively better from here. But even if we factor some bit of recovery in the real estate, mining, and government spending, front-loading of export orders ahead of Trump tariffs, and healthy Kharif output, we get the remaining two-quarter growth at 6.5% and full-year growth near about 6.3 to 6.4%. RBI has pared down its growth expectation from 7.2% to 6.6% in the December policy. Resultantly, earnings have also been disappointing. There has been downgrade to earnings and FY25 expectations for Nifty now run just around 5 to 6% versus 13% at the start of the year. We also think that just like growth, earnings should also improve a bit from here. Today, the challenge in India is that the country is supply-side ready. Banks have the bandwidth to expand credit, corporates have the balance sheet to build on credit, and consumers can perhaps leverage a bit more. But the demand is missing. Consumer confidence has clearly come out of the COVID lows, but it still stays sideways. The income growth has just been enough to compensate for inflation, but overall spend is still weak. Export has become simply too volatile amidst global politics, and India faces a stiff competition from China. Though China is vacating some space in low value added products. But all said, it is getting difficult to bank on export as a higher growth engine. Right after COVID, very clearly, government's capex thrust and a healthy savings in the upper income households was a major pillar to India's growth and helped to crowd in private investment. Today, it appears that the fiscal policy has given a prime focus to consolidation and monetary policy to inflation and financial stability, while growth has taken a backseat. It is necessary to change that policy outlook now. In its latest December policy, RBI kept repo rate unchanged at 6.5%, perhaps because CPI is still flirting with 6% in recent months. But positively, it chose to address the liquidity concerns in the bank by reducing CRR by 50 basis points to 4%. We think that this is a better move, as CRR is more blunt and immediate. This move seems well timed as banks are struggling to build a sufficient liability base. Additionally, recent dollar capital outflows have led the RBI to sell foreign exchange reserves, causing a contraction in rupee liquidity. Liquidity conditions were trending towards some tightness in the coming month. The CRR cut should help to infuse around INR 1.2 trillion of liquidity, providing some support to bank liquidity. Although it may still be too early to declare a peak in the deposit rates. Another interesting point is that 2 out of 3 external members in the Monetary Policy Committee voted for a 25 basis point reduction in the repo rate. This raises the question, does this signal that growth concerns are becoming more prominent among the policymakers? With Q2 FY26 CPI estimates converging around the 4% range and FY25 growth estimates marked down by 50 basis points, the shift to easing could potentially be a live event in the coming quarter. From rates perspective, as the market starts to price in policy easing, we could see benchmark yields align more closely with policy rates. This gives investors opportunities to increase exposure to slightly higher duration assets as the easing cycle progresses. However, external factors, particularly US fiscal and trade policy, remain key sources of uncertainty and will likely continue to drive volatility. Even with the sharp intra-month volatility, Indian equity indices closed little changed for the month of November. The weakness continued for a good part of the month, led by rising bond yields in the US, a surging US dollar, and continued selling from FPIs. The sluggishness in corporate earnings and the consequent cuts in earning growth expectations further weighed on the market mood. However, the intra-month losses reversed in the later part of the month as Maharashtra election results showed a sweep for the ruling NDA alliance and reaffirmed markets' confidence in political continuity. Performance across the market cap curve was similar. However, market breadth continued to deteriorate. In conclusion, with price momentum negative and valuation still elevated, it is hard to be bullish about the near-term prospects for Indian assets. However, a deep or a protracted correction is not in the cards. India's macro story may be down, but the economy and market are far from out. The current turbulence should bring the focus back on fundamentals. We remain of the view that increasingly the market will become more discerning and move back towards companies which have strong business models, long-term earnings growth visibility, and sustainable cash flows. Signing off for this month. Thank you.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.